Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Super Week in Smart Homes presented by Digital Home. On this week in Super Week in Smart Homes, also known as Swish, we're going to be talking about do-it-yourself home security platforms. Specifically, we're going to be talking about what Honeywell's doing, what Ring is doing, and probably mention a few more as we go along with that. We're talking about Amplifi Teleport. I want to talk about August DoorSense with Amazon Alexa, obviously. And then we're going to talk about Dish, which I know you guys are probably wondering why we are talking about Dish. All right. So, as I mentioned, guys, first, let's talk a little bit about what's happening in the do-it-yourself security realm. So, it wasn't today. It was probably 2-3 days ago, Honeywell actually released that they are going to be doing a do-it-yourself security platform, right? When most people think about home security, they think ADT, but over time, especially this year, there's been a lot of people entering that market. Ring recently came out with something, Nest came out with something, and now Honeywell is jumping into the space. Honeywell's is really interesting because it's going to work with Amazon Alexa. It has many different pieces to it. It has the key fobs, has motion sensors, window sensors, door sensors, etc. And it's all done at a pretty reasonable price. Starts at $500. They have a camera base. It's 1080p, high definition, and I mean, it's just really interesting what they're doing, and I believe they're doing an Indiegogo to raise the money for it. I mean, Honeywell's a very large company, so I'm assuming the Indiegogo is less to raise money and more to just kind of raise awareness of this. I mean, it got me talking about it, so I think it's interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to come from them. Nest has their secure platform, and Ring's Protect. And then Wink has something, SmartThings has something. I think we're long overdue for an overhaul in security, right? I think ADT has owned this market for a long time, and it's ripe for disruption, especially with what people like Ring and Nest, Arlo, etc. are doing with the IP cameras that also have the microphones and the speakers on them. I think that's really interesting. So I'm really looking forward to what's happening there, and kind of continue to talk about that as we go forward. With that, ADT is not just laying back, right? They're not just saying, all right, you guys are coming and we're just going to wait for it. They're being very litigious, right? I guess that's the best way to put it, in that instead of trying to out-innovate these guys, they're going to sue them to death. So I say that because yesterday or was today, I think it actually may have been today, Ring sued, ADT sued Ring for their Ring Protect security platform. Essentially, Ring Protect just was going to be the hub of the Ring security platform that they have, right? They already have their IP cameras that go, they have spotlight cameras. They have the doorbell, and then they were going to have the Protect that was going to have door sensors, window sensors, etc. And they would all be able to be accessed from that central pane of glass, that Ring app, which I was really excited for. But ADT is saying that there's something up with the way that they're billing, or the way that they're rolling this out. I haven't dug very deep into that, but it's going to be interesting how that plays out. Nest also released something recently with their Nest Secure, which looked very similar to what Ring Protect was doing. And they also have cameras as well, right? And I think they also have a doorbell now also. So it's still coming down the line. ADT, I don't think they can sue their way out of this, especially because Nest is with Google. So it's going to be interesting. But definitely a space to watch. And as time goes on, I'll continue to talk about what Ring's doing, Nest doing, Wink, Smarter Things, and how they compare. Especially if you guys are in the market for that, let me know. Comment below, and I'll get to that, doing that comparison a little earlier to help you make some decisions there. Another thing I wanted to talk about was the Amplifi Teleport. So another larger organization doing a Kickstarter-esque campaign. So this one's by Ubiquiti. Ubiquiti is a enterprise network platform, right? So access points. They have mesh network platforms in their Amplifi series, and now they're releasing Teleport, which Teleport essentially it's essentially a VPN, but it's just a layman's VPN, right? So it connects into the router, and then you get this little piece, I guess that's the teleport piece, that you could bring anywhere that you are in the world, and it allows you to access your home network. It's interesting, right? From a standpoint, like, especially of an integrator, right? Being able to kind of go into somebody's network and maybe do some kind of changes to the programming of something. We use VPN to do that. I'm not going to use Teleport to do that though, right? VPN is more scalable for me in that way. But from a end user standpoint, right? If you guys were buying Teleport, really where I see it being beneficial is if you go outside of the country or come into the US, right, or go to Europe or what have you, many times you don't have access to certain videos, websites, etc., because you're not in said country. Like Netflix, I know there are certain shows that you can only watch within the US, whereas you can't watch them within Canada, Mexico, etc., Europe, all that. So that's a really good use case for it. But I haven't really found the other ones for the average person, right? And you don't have to be on your network to look at your cameras if you have IP cameras. I guess if you haven't configured DNS or anything like that, DDNS, sorry, anything like that, then you may need to. But most people are doing. Any integrator is going to do that for you. So it's interesting. We're going to see what's going to happen with it. I think really when it hits the market and people start getting their hands on it is really when things get the most interesting. So I'm going to watch it, and I'll continue to report back to you guys on what's happening there. The other thing I want to talk about was August DoorSense. So we talked about August on a previous episode. We talked about Alexa on a previous episode, but I think this kind of brings them together again, and that what August is doing is they're adding DoorSense to the Alexa platform that they have. So what that means is now you'll be able to say something like, Alexa, is my door open? If you have the DoorSense. And what that enables you to do is, I mean, because the August thing is for a deadbolt, so you can't do a deadbolt if the door's open. So if the door's not closed, you'll know by asking Alexa through DoorSense. I think it'd be interesting if they had a way to like close it for you or something like that. Because this DoorSense, I mean, you still have to get up and go close the door. But what I think is really interesting about it is because Alexa recently added the ability to have profiles for different people. I think that's why they were able to add this, because it has that extra security feature. So somebody it's not just walking down the street yelling, Alexa, is the door open? And then when you hear somebody's Alexa go yes, and you can just run over there and go into somebody's house, right? So I think it because that security feature was added, now they were able to add this to the platform. So again, I think it's only a matter of time till Amazon really starts to have even more of an effect on the smart home industry, and I'm just watching it very carefully. I think, to me, they're definitely ahead of Google, right, in terms of like the Google Home, etc. Apple with their HomeKit, they have a very interesting platform, but their problem is Siri sucks. So I'm looking forward to what's going to happen with Alexa in this smart home space, and I'm always interested in talking to you guys about that as well. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was what Dish is doing, right? So I know I personally don't ever think about Dish, right? They were big years and years ago. Everybody had one of those things on top of their house, but now like Dish is dead, pretty much, right? You would think, but what's really happened is that they've kind of decided, it seems, to take a loss up front right now and invest heavily into 5G networks, right? So when you think about your current cell phone, right, you have a iPhone 5, iPhone 6, iPhone 7X, etc., and it runs 4G when you're not on Wi-Fi. And 4G is good, right? You can watch videos, you can text, you can do everything you want to do, FaceTime, blah, blah, blah. But if you have anywhere near a decent Wi-Fi, you realize that it's not nearly as good, right? So what 5G is going to bring to the table is speeds as good as many people's Wi-Fi networks. And they had some specs around this, around what the average Wi-Fi is versus what 5G is going to bring. And I don't have them right in front of me, but I'll share this in the show notes so that you guys can check it out as well. But I think it's really interesting what Dish is doing around that 5G, because it's going to it has the potential to completely change how we're looking at home networks, right? Because right now, a large part of the smart home is the home network, right? I'm not going to, for example, right now I'm proposing a camera system for somebody's house, right? We can either do IP cameras hardwired, or we can do Ring. The problem with doing the Ring system is that their network is weak. They have like just a Verizon router and nothing else. And if 5G was around, it wouldn't matter. They could just use their 5G network and they'd be able to set up that Ring very easily. But because it's not, we're going to have to upgrade their network so that they can have the ability to use Ring in all the places that they want. So it's going to be really interesting, especially for integrators, but also for the common man, right, in terms of how 5G is going to affect this, because more and more things are coming online. More and more people want these smart products. So as 5G becomes an option for them, maybe it makes it so there's less of a reliance on Wi-Fi, or only use video, only the video platforms use Wi-Fi or something of that nature. Who knows what's going to happen, but I'm really interested in watching it and implementing it as time goes on, and implement it for my clients. So that's all I had for today, guys. Didn't want to keep you here too long. If you have any questions in regards to this, always you can feel free to hop into the comments or come to our website, digihm.com. A little panel of me will pop up, and you can chat with me in real time right there. That's probably the quickest way to get me, but I'll always hop in the comments as well and chat with you guys. So that's it for today. Again, Henry Johnson here from Digital Home, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.